All righty then, away we go. Welcome everybody. It is Friday, June 4th of 2021, and this is the TRC sales training call, which we're always excited to do here on Fridays. I think that, and I say sales training, it has become very largely inside sales / telemarketing. Again, though, it's always free game to talk to me about outside sales anecdotes, and I know there are a lot of them. There are a lot of challenges when you're dealing with the largest financial and emotional transaction people make in a lifetime. Those emotions really need to be controlled against the system. As you know, we have the campfire training on a bi-weekly basis where we go over the sales or the training for the seller course and the buyer course, which is your foundation upon which you remain safe. So remember, that will be at play here when we go through certain things that we talk about on the phone. So I'm going to get going here. And Josh, I know that you are in here. I've got everybody muted. So if I call your name and you want to unmute or you want to talk, you'll have to unmute your mic. So Josh, I know that Angeli was on here and we had a little bit of an agenda that we wanted to talk about. And I want to make sure that I ask you to unmute formally, I guess. But you can unmute. There you go.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Angeli. Oh, that's
I'm
you.
using Josh's.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Perfect.
login.
Perfect. So,
All right.
Angeli, what did we want to focus on today with you? Was it you wanted? He sent me a text. I just can't recall the content.
Yeah, because we're trying to work on a different list right now instead of calling sellers list.
Yeah.
I mean the sellers.
Yeah.
I'll be calling the buyers instead. So there's just a little bit of things that needs to be tweaked on the script that I had before.
Okay.
And yeah, still the same information. It's just that it should be addressed to a buyer.
Okay. So tell me a little bit. Tell me a little bit about the type of leads we're talking about.
The type of leads we will be working on will be the people who have registered to our website, like the pay-per-click lead source. And so far, that's the only thing that I know about the leads that we're getting it from. So they will be registering in a website. I'm not sure. I don't know the specific website yet, but
Okay.
they're the ones who are asking or looking for, houses or trying to sell.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So you want to know that because that affects everything that I have you say, right? Because remember one thing, and again, I know you don't know it right now, but that's one of the things that we're going to want to know, because when you craft a script, one of the first beats that I want you to hit is what I call fulfillment. So if somebody makes an offer on pay-per-click, okay, so I don't know how much, Angeli, you know about pay-per-click. And again, this is more for Josh and I to discuss, and I will have to discuss it with him. But the idea is an offer is made. Let me see, Angeli, you're in the group. Can you see the screen? Because for the coaching members, I can share a screen here and show what I'm talking about from an ad standpoint. Are you on just a phone or are you on a screen?
Yeah, I'm on our screen. I'm using a laptop.
Okay, good. Perfect. I'm going to show you what I mean. This is going to take you into the very back end of my, let's see, bear with me. This is my own advertising account for Google. And so right now I'm running some traffic for a buyer lead gen. I don't do a lot of it, but I'm back to doing it for higher end buyers. And I want to give you specifically what I'm talking about, which is to make sure that you see an ad, because ads all say different things. And again, I apologize if you're just listening or you're just eavesdropping today. You're not going to be able to see this, so I'll try to be as articulate as I can about what I'm showing. But I think what salespeople forget is that there has to be a connection to the marketing department, right? So the marketing department is making some promise, and then they never tell the sales department what promise they made. You follow me, Angeli?
Yeah, I get you.
That's a problem, because if I put Angeli on the phone and I give her a script, she needs to know specifically what was said. Think about how specific the language is that you want from me. Well, I have to know, to be good at that, what the promise made was, right? Otherwise, I don't know what to tell you to say. So the idea is we're looking for fulfillment first. That's what I would call it. We're trying to fulfill, meaning somebody has been made an offer online in digital marketing, and they've said yes. So I knew for years that the language was ugly. Free list of distress sales. That's just ugly language, right? And it's meant to put blood in the water to bait somebody in a large case, to switch them on to something else. That's a bait and switch. It's ugly. And it happens every day. Instead, what we're trying to do is make a sane offer to somebody that it's access to properties. And I really make it pretty straightforward. So I'm going to show my screen. You tell me when I can. It took a while for some reason, AdWords to open up. But there's a very simple, bear with me. Where are you? Too many windows here. Okay. You tell me when you can see what I'm showing. You see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what you're looking at is the marketing department's idea, me being my own marketing department. See that ad there? Cape Cod MLS listings, search like a realtor. The Griffin.co, Cape Cod /MLS, et cetera, is just a display. Instant access, free daily updates to all Cape Cod MLS listings. It's simple, right? It's a very straightforward type of offer. So when somebody came in there to an ad like that, well, my telemarketing department would have to fulfill, right? They would have to fulfill that offer. So how do you fulfill that? If somebody went to the website and opted in per se, well then, okay, just have Angeli pick up the phone and say, Danny, this is Angeli calling from Josh.com Real Estate. And the reason I'm calling is because I saw that you requested access in the instant daily updates. I'm just reading the words, right? Instant access and free daily updates to all the Cape Cod MLS listings from our website. So I repeat the offer, right? Because what I'm doing is I'm reconnecting somebody to the marketing moment that they said yes. They exchanged their information in that moment in time. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. It's like the title of the ad or something. Yeah, I believe Josh already has that website because he mentioned that he has already 700 leads to work on too. It's just that he hasn't given me the website link yet or the name of it. Yeah, I'll try to message him now.
It's extremely important that you know, and he knows, what offer was made. Because a lot of these times, realtors are just going out to website companies and they're saying, how many leads can I get for how much money? And nobody really ever asks to see the ads that will be run and what offer is made. All they keep focusing on is the name. It's ridiculous, okay? It's ridiculous. It's just dumb marketing. It's haphazard. I warn everybody against that. But even if you've made that mistake, it's okay. It's on him to go back and say, show me the ads. I need to know the language. I need to know the promise. Because the minute I have Angeli go on the phone, she has to have a script that first hits the first beat. Fulfill. See, these are inbound leads versus an outbound call to expireds. So I need to explain that. When we make an offer to the public, there's an inbound lead that comes our way. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay. So I really want you to understand this, because if you don't, we're dead. It has, I wish he was here today. He really should be here with you on these calls, because we need that language to be extremely specific and understood, because your script is going to repeat it. Hey, or state the context. Angeli, it's Danny Griffin calling from Griffin Realty Group. So I identify myself as a professional. I noticed your beautiful home online and noticed that it didn't sell. See, that's an outbound call saying, I know you already. I know your context already, and I have this thing for you. Versus an inbound buyer lead. Angeli, this is Danny Griffin calling from Griffin Realty Group. The reason I'm calling is because I saw that you went to our website, thegriffin.co, and you asked for instant access to the free daily updates of all the Cape Cod MLS listings that meet your criteria. I just want to make sure that we have your criteria right. Could you just restate what price range you're looking for? Bedrooms, bathrooms, just the basics, Angeli. Wonderful. I'll make sure that those are coming to you. By the way, while I have you, why were you thinking about buying? It's the same formula that you would use that we already know works. Fulfill and then ask why. And let them read their mind aloud to us. Why? Here's my reason. It's all about me, the buyer, consumer, in this case. Here's why I'm thinking about buying. Or I'm not really thinking about buying, Angeli. I was just looking at properties online. So you don't have any reason to buy a house inside the next 12 months? No, I don't. Okay, wonderful. Well, enjoy our website. It's free, etc. Boom, gone. Now you put a note on that, delete contact for Josh to say, this guy's not real. You follow me? Or whatever Josh's business is. Are you with me, Angeli?
Yes.
So the language follows the very same stuff that we're talking about. It follows the same formula. It doesn't matter what the context is. So the same thing for circle prospecting. You need a reason. And this is, Josh came to a big recognition of value. If you pick up the phone and you call somebody and you have no value for them, it's likely that they're not going to give you what you want, which is whether or not they're interested in buying or selling. Okay. So the language, let's go to the, let me see also, since you're on the inside, let's open this. For some reason, Google AdWords was terrible and it wasn't responding to me. So let's see if I can get this. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to open up the correct mind map for scripts. And you will be able to see that it's the same idea of the first beat. You can write this down is fulfillment. That's beat number one always is fulfillment. That means we have to fulfill on the promise we made or make a promise that we can fulfill on. The difference between inbound and outbound sales telemarketing calls is that if I'm going to make an outbound call to somebody who has no idea that I'm calling, I better have something that I can offer and then fulfill on. Okay? That's really, really important. I tell the gang up in Canada who makes a lot of phone calls to these bold leads, meaning they're seller leads that are just whimsical, most of them on the internet. You have to make some sort of a fulfillment. You can't just say, get your free home evaluation online and then send them nothing, right? So that's the idea. So no matter what this is, you'll notice in the big picture here, as you go down this, we look at this map for scripting. It's the act of prospecting that you're going to. And so the best practice is to prospect somebody, to turn them from a lead. You don't know why they're doing it. And if there is a why, you don't know when. Got it? Lead. We don't, that's just a name that we don't know why they're doing it. And if they are, when. Okay? A prospect is we know why, and we know at least the when is inside of 12 months if it's going to be an ideal type of follow-up situation for us. That's the difference as you move from a lead to a prospect. Now, as we nurture, and Josh has that nurture now, as we nurture that prospect relationship, we have to constantly fulfill. We have to give that person market updates. We have to give that person sold properties that sold around their house if they're selling, sold if they're buying so they see what the money's buying, right? And then we have to give them tips, buyer tips or seller tips. That's all happening. We're fulfilling during the prospect relationship so that they begin to know us, like us, and hopefully trust us enough to become our client. That's the whole simple philosophy behind the act of prospecting. So if Angeli calls up with her nice voice and she's helpful, she fulfills, then she's going to more easily get the answer to, by the way, why are you thinking about buying? You got me?
Yes.
Okay. So do you need to write this down? Was the goal here to write this down for buyers, or tell me? Because here's some of what, yes? Or you can take a screen.
Yes.
Okay. You have.
No, it's okay. I can just take a screenshot. Oh, well, I thought you were talking about the script that we'll be making. I need to write it down so that I can use it. Anyway, let me just go ahead and screenshot.
Yeah, and he has this mind map, by the way. He has this access. So if you go to xmind.net and you download their free software, okay, xmind.net, anybody that's in the coaching program has access to this. xmind.net, you can download this. And you can open this whole thing up, Angeli. It's already all written out. He has this.
Sure.
He can down from circle prospecting to expireds, all the body of work that we've done to organize you. So if it's buyer internet leads, here we are. Angeli, this is Danny Griffin from Griffin Realty Group. I'm calling you because I want to thank you for using our website, thegriffin.co, to look for properties online. I want to make sure that we're sending you the right types of properties that you want to see. Right? So I see that we're sending you properties in XYZ area and in this price range. Is that correct? See how easy that is? By the way, you're looking at some beautiful properties. Why are you thinking about making a move? Right? You let them listen. You listen. They answer. Geez, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to move? Well, I'm probably like a 9. Okay, great. Like in that case, because you're so motivated, what I could do is mail you some information that will help you get the best buy. May I also do that? So now we can get them into that whole value package thing, right? So now I can send out, Josh's buyer plan, Danny's buyer plan, with some printed pictures of what sold. And this will change the relationship with that buyer versus everybody else who's simply getting their properties online. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Got it?
I got it. Yeah. Because actually, this would, I mean, it will be an easy transition for me because I believe I'll be working on nurturing as well the with the leads that we had before. So yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, I'm working on step 1 and step 2 as well.
And
So yeah, have.
good. Well, I was just going to say, you bring up a next good point, is that
Mhm.
do you do anything beyond the first call? So if you talk to them and there's anything beyond the next call, do you do it?
For now, I haven't started yet with the nurturing. I mean, nurturer role, but with the thing that we have discussed yesterday with Josh,
Yeah.
then yes, we do. I mean, I do everything like the follow ups, the verification of their interest, and with the go to phone. I mean, go to on the phone leads, which leads hot leads that Josh is trying to contact, but he wasn't able to get anyone yet. So I'll be following up on that as well.
Okay, good. Yeah. Because in the long run, well, all the first calls are the same, right? It's the nurturing and longer term follow up that if somebody says, Angeli, thank you so much. Sure, I'll take the package, but I'm not quite ready yet. And I don't know when I will be ready. So, great. Okay, no problem. What we'll do is we'll continue to send those properties through the website. So that will work for you. And then ultimately past that, what we need to do is we need to keep you updated in the marketplace too. Right? See what I'm saying?
Mm.
So they'll now get on the market update, which Josh is developing. He's developing a market newsletter. Okay. So that's how that will work. And then ultimately, when we call them back, we're like, hey, Danny, it's Angeli. We talked a couple of months ago and I was checking into making sure you were getting the market update. The Portland market is still pretty strong for sellers, because Josh would give you a line like that. He would give you an insight line to go along with the data. So you would have something to say each month. It's a whole month's worth of just one report. The next thing is, are you also still getting all the sold properties and for sale properties that you originally signed up for, right? And by the way, is your plan still, you're still thinking about June? Is that right? So you're just putting a touch on it, but you're making sure they're getting the information that's pertinent to them. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. So again, it's going to take some time to train you into this, but that whole mind mapping system shows us that no matter what the context of the telemarketing call, there's always a bone structure for it. Follow me?
True. True.
You're following essentially the same bone structure, which is the first beat is you must fulfill, right? You must fulfill. It's really important to fulfill. So all right, there you go. That's the best I could give you today. But Josh, you need to go to xmind.net and download that free software. Okay, Xmind 8 is the software you download to open up those mind maps. Josh can then go to the Teachable site where the coaching is, and he can download it and give it to you. Okay?
Yeah.
Cool?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And by the way, regarding this, he also was because I see that we cannot go through anything yet because you just need to base it with the script, the mind map thing. But we will also be trying to develop the sales development role script as well, the nurturer script, and see if we can do something about it because I will once I start working on the leads or the SDR role, I will not be using the old script. I will try to, because with the old script that the SDR has right now is with the old script that we had before as ISA,
Mhm.
and since I started the new script, then we need to create another script that would actually relate to the new script that I have right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, since we cannot make the buyer's list script, aside from basing it from the map, can we also do something about the SDR role script?
We can do something about
Is
every script. We can get very specific on all of these.
uh,
I think the first thing is, so the SVR, tell me what the SVR stands for. What are we talking?
SDR is like the nurturer role,
Oh
the
yeah.
sales
Well, that's what
development.
I was teasing
Mm,
into, and we can talk about that today because we had a lot of that conversation. But let me see what I have. I
yeah.
just wanted to make sure this camera wasn't going to shut down here. Let me see what I have because I have some big files open. Follow up. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Did we, any of my mastermind members, did we start doing this yesterday or we didn't get to it? The follow up. Anybody, Grant or anybody that's out there? Did we ever? No?
I'm going to say we touched upon it.
We touched on it briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if we ever.
Exactly.
But for long term follow up nurture that she's referring to, I don't know that we ever put it in place. Did we?
No.
Okay. So so down
I
here.
don't think we did. Like we talked about giving them an update on a property that's sold or pending, something like that.
Yeah.
Right. It was kind of in brief, though, I thought.
It was brief, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So it's, I
A
gotta be,
bullet point from the market update or market report and your timing. We talked a little bit about that.
okay. So let me just put some footnotes in here. And Jelly, I'm not going to solve it today, but the mastermind group is talking about this next week anyway. So I'll start to bang out a little bit more of this. You'll see down here that there's a couple of things that we put, but this isn't what I just said. So, hey, this is, hi, Danny, this is X from Y Real Estate. We chatted a few months, weeks ago, and I wanted to check in to make sure. And then I think we just get into like the tabs. So I'm just going to put a placeholder for myself here. Oh boy, this is just terribly slow. Sorry, guys. It's when you run all these cameras and I'm broadcasting to 15 different places. So it just slows everything down. One is that you're receiving I gotta blow this up so I can see my spelling. Sorry, guys. It's just too slow. Angeli, I'll do it next week and I'll get it to you. But there are 3 beats there. 1, the market update. 2, the properties they're receiving. 3, the seller tip or buyer tip series. That's it. And those are the things that you're going to be calling about because those are what that just allows you to do is always be relevant to their situation in that moment. That makes sense to you? Okay.
Yeah, because with the what I understand from the role I'll be taking is it's not just the updates I will be feeding them. I'll actually need to verify if they still have the motivation because technically I'm also gonna be verifying the leads. Because from the ISAs, which is the role that I have right now, with the new script, it would just be trying to funnel the leads that we have who to whom to who are interested or not, And what my role is gonna do, then the SDR role is to verify if they're really a lead or not. So I'll be
Yeah, well,
like,
that's early on. So you have to remember that this script has nothing to do with that, right? I mean, unless they're already being fulfilled and we're cleaning the mess up. You follow me? So if they're already
Yeah.
getting something from you, hey, it's me calling from here. The reason I'm calling is long ago you had signed up for property alerts and we just want to make sure that you're still receiving them. Yeah, I'm not interested anymore. You know, you might get those kind of reactions, right? Okay, wonderful. So you don't have any plans of moving inside the next 12 months? No, I don't. Good. Done. Not a lead. Job over. So if you're cleaning up a database mess, it's much faster. But it's still the same, Angeli, and everybody else for that matter. You're going in to fulfill, right? You have to fulfill on what's happening there. That makes
well, I'm sorry for the confusion. Well, what I mean for the SDR script that I'm trying to create as well is for the seller script. I mean, the sellers list.
okay.
Because remember, I'm using the new script now, the
Yes.
first script that we're working on with Josh.
Yes.
And after that, after all the leads that I have that I've gathered from that new script, I will be calling them again with a new name, which is Jordan, which is the SDR's name. And I will be verifying if those leads that I got before from the sellers list is actually
Okay.
is
So how would you
good.
do that? So tell me how you do that right now.
Yeah, well, first is to verify if they're motivated. Like I'll be going back to the because the lead notes, we have the lead notes from our system and checking if I see that we Casey, because that's the name that we've been using for ISA. So Casey spoke with you last week,
Mhm.
and you said that you're just trying to read through all the notes. Like you said that you're planning to sell your house because you're moving out of state, and you want to move closer to your daughter. Example, if that's the notes. And I see here that you're planning to do that for like a year. I mean, for like just say 3 months, right?
Mhm.
And then they will be answering yes. Okay. So is that still the plan right now? Are you still because I see the motivation here is at 10. So are you still very motivated right now to sell? So after that, if they will say that, it depends on the time frame that they say. If they say that, yeah, I'm still interested in selling it in 3 months. So if it's within 3 months, I'll be giving the lead to Josh. And if it's longer than 3 months, then that's the leads that I'll be nurturing. I'll be
Okay.
making a follow up and just checking on what's going on with their life, the reason why they're delaying the sale of their house, and
Okay,
checking
but
if,
hold on.
they're
Stop.
still
Stop.
interested.
Stop. You know what I don't hear? What's in it for them when you call? What are you giving of service? And so I'm going to leave you to go back, write that down. Say he wants to know what I have to give them. Follow me? You need something to give them. You can't make phone calls without being beneficial to somebody if you expect to get a deep, rich answer, right?
Mhm.
So you have to make sure that you get with him, because that's just all about, hey, are you still real? Are you still real? Are you still real? That's not beneficial to them, right?
Mhm.
And I worry that you might be blowing some people off because of that. Follow?
Yes, yes. Yeah, so yeah, I remember because I had I read the old script last week, which has all the details that they tell the leads,
Yeah.
or it's like an advertisement of what we're doing. So it's quite a long line, but what I remember from that is it's asking if they can, it's also still verifying if they're the motivation, if they can have, if 3 months would work for them in trying to process everything, like getting the as soon as they get the cash, if they can move out within 3 months, like trying to fix things out from their house, or the
Okay, stop. All right, good. Stop. It's becoming a big tongue twister for you. You know what I mean? It's way too much. So let's just agree that I've got to get on a private call with you and Josh and we've got to get the whole picture. You guys are trying to solve things with way too much. Angeli, listen to how hard it is for you to say it. And you're very articulate. So once you get outside a system, it just doesn't sound good for anybody. And that just sounds like, well then we're going to get you, we're going to help you, right? That's what it sounds like to somebody on the other end of the phone. It's not about them anymore. You're trying too hard. It's called a try hard. Don't do that. Don't do that. Right? So let's get together with him next week and we'll tighten this up because you don't need to do all that. It just sounds so hard for you to do, right? You need form.
That's why Josh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Josh is trying to get rid of the old script because he noticed that there's something wrong with it or something. But yeah. So anyway, I will not be getting that role yet until I guess next week. So that would be timely when we for the call for next week with Josh with a private call because I believe that he needs to give some more information as well for this role so that we can create it.
Definitely.
In a clear script.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt about it. Definitely. All right, good job, Angeli. It's not easy to clean up, what we were doing once upon a time, and you're very talented. So I'm very excited it's you. Please download xmind.net. Their free software is called Xmind 8. Tell Josh to go to the Teachable site and download the Scripts and Dialogues mind map for you and get that to you ASAP. You don't need to cut and paste anything. You can have the whole thing there and you can see every minute detail for all the types of context calls that we make, right?
All right.
Good work. Thanks for being here. All right. Any questions about that? That was good. I mean, that's a new group that's coming in here with, Josh has 13 people making phone calls and a lot of it was like starting to, deliver him a very difficult to convert lead still. It wasn't even a prospect. So we're trying to clean this up. It's not just about having a volume of calls. It's about absolutely being precise with fulfillment and then qualification and then moving people along with service. It's very, very important to stay inside those guardrails. Any questions about that? Any thoughts, any reactions to it?
What?
Yeah. Hello, Grant?
Well, no, it's great. Again, my comments sound like a broken record, but once we stay in the system and just perfect what the system is.
Yeah, right.
Because there's noise out there and you try and bring it about you, but deliver the information, the system, talk about them.
Yeah. Well, what just, it made me think, Grant, you always have to know why. Somebody comes onto this call for the first time and they hear the word system and it's sort of the blah, blah for them, right? It's like the Charlie Brown wah, 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 wah moment, right? It sounds like just words, but there's something much more important at play here. And it's that when you are really trying to do things on willpower, and Maxwell Maltz and Kennedy talk about this in the new Psycho-Cybernetics, which we hammered home again last week, it's the concept of willpower that you think you can muscle your way in. Here's what happens. You actually end up defaulting to a lesser version of what you're capable of. And what I mean by that is you get insecure, you get defensive, because when you hear that, well, I've talked to 3 other realtors. Well, we do that. You get all insecure and you try to flex your muscles even bigger and you roar louder, right? And it's just not what empowers that person. And it actually has the reverse effect often where you feel, you don't even see it. You're hurting yourself. You're embarrassing yourself because you're throwing yourself into this pit of rats that are all trying to climb up for the piece of cheese, right? Whereas if you just say, woof, I'm not going into that ugly pile. Let me just genuinely use a systematic approach to be of service, give away my best what to do stuff for free, fulfill. I keep using that word fulfill. Fulfillment is giving. I'm going to give you something. Maybe you already paid for it like Amazon, but they deliver it with speed and accuracy and it gets to us, right? And that's why Amazon exploded, because they're of service at the best level they can be for something that's an amazingly chaotic situation. Well, we're in the same kind of business that we have to fulfill stuff that we didn't even get paid to fulfill on. That's the hardest part to digest, is that in the service business, you must give so you can get out of the rat pile and differentiate yourself and trigger the law of reciprocity. So whether that's an inbound lead off the internet, you still have to hit the beat of fulfillment. Hey, I saw that you wanted your home evaluation. Hey, I saw that you wanted access to MLS. And so I'm here to make sure the fulfillment of that is happening. I'm essentially the concierge desk, right? I'm not here to do anything on willpower. By the way, while I have you, why were you thinking about buying? So it's a presumptive question, because if I see you looking at properties for sale, I'm presuming you're thinking about buying. If I see that you want a home evaluation, I presume that you're thinking about selling. My presumption is, why were you thinking about selling? And now they can go one of two ways: because, or I'm not. That's the first branch, right? So there's no willpower involved in that grant, right? None. So the system is designed to help us stay in the service lane, but it also is there to allow somebody to walk the branch of the mind map to give the answers we need to know if there is a chance to be of a higher level of service, until ultimately we continue to serve and they trust us. So we hear this stuff, know, like, and trust. Well, you can take it against the system and you can say, they know us from the marketing department, right? Somebody made an offer out there, they fulfilled. Or the telemarketing department is the first way they know us. They never heard of us before. Hey, Danny, right? Or Grant, this is Danny Griffin calling from Griffin Realty Group. I know you don't know me from a hole in the wall, but the reason I'm calling you is because I want to let you know that your neighbor right next door just sold. And he got 1.275. It was 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 4,000 square feet. It was a pretty good number for that property. And there was an overflow of buyers, Grant. So I don't know if you know of any of the other neighbors that are thinking about selling, but would love to get some more inventory. Do you know anybody? You see what I'm saying? Like, so even when I crash into your world and I don't have context, and telemarketing a message is the first one that's coming outbound to you versus inbound to me, there's still no difference. I don't need willpower in either case if I have a system, and upon that system, there's fulfillment of an offer, a gift, something of value. That's never going to change, right? So if we ignore that and we build language to just, I don't know, trick somebody into a conversation, because that's what a lot of it sounds like to me. Hey, when are you going to hire the right realtor? Like, I've heard some crazy things, Grant, right? And even that systematic is better than no systematic, right? So yeah. I wanted to, because you said that, I wanted to just really reaffirm why this is more effective. It's not just because we think it is. It's human, right? It's the way, again, I always reference, books like Psycho-Cybernetics for the mind system, influence for trigger words, and laws of authority and reciprocity. These are all immutable. In other words, you can't explain them away. So you have to consider them in human behavior. So really, it's almost like a therapy session each week that we say, look, if you will just develop, and by the way, I recommend to all my kids for all different reasons. I have an athlete, I have an actress, I have a business person, I have people trying to get through anxiety. I say, look, if you will take the mind systems that you know are available in Psycho, Mind, Cybernetics, steering system, and you'll take those tools, you will understand why scripts and why beats work with people. You'll understand. And all suddenly the burden of doing it on muscle, you'll be free from that. You won't have it anymore, right? The burden lifts. So if you heard Angeli sitting there go, well, and we're going to help you do that. There's that rat pile. Everybody trying to best each other versus saying, look, I have a holistic approach to buying or selling. I'll be more than happy, instead of all that noise, why don't I just send you a hard copy of my plan? Let me give it to you. It's about 28 bullet points of tips in here, with about 6 or 7, depending on whether you're selling or buying, major modules that you'll have to consider with or without me. I said it today on a recruiting call with an agent. I said, with or without me, you have my best what to do stuff for free. It's my system. It's my systematic approach to this. And it's not rocket science, right? So again, that's the deeper training that's going on here, that everybody has to realize that if we're content that we have a plan, then all we have to do is understand the language of the context. Are they a probate? So do I have to consider that they're an administrator who lost somebody? Are they expired? They failed. Are they a FSBO? They don't believe or can't afford a realtor. Are they just somebody sitting still at home, not knowing what's going on for a circle prospect call? All I have to do is know the context, because ultimately it's going to squeeze down to, if there is context that they want to buy or sell, my plan. See how easy it is, Grant? No willpower. No willpower. Should be a very logical walk to each stage. And of course, the great news is, I think a lot of you telemarketers especially, you believe that like you're crestfallen. That's a heavy word. That means basically you've collapsed under the weight of loss. You didn't get that deal. You almost had that $6 million deal, but they went with somebody else. You're so crestfallen by that because that's the mentality of scarcity. You believe that, oh my gosh, that's the end of the world. There is a bountiful number of transactions that happen in every type of market. So execution and consistency of making the volume, Autumn will tell you, when I was training her one day, I said, Autumn, if you'll just be honest with your 20-hour work effort and consistency, the rest will follow. That's all I said. We call it the honest 20. She actually went home and made a whole plaque about it, the honest 20, because it's a reminder that if she'll just break the bricks inside that system, good things will happen. She's on the verge of getting another $900,000 listing from yesterday, right? Because she just keeps breaking those bricks inside the system. And Autumn will tell you the snapback or the blow ups or the arguments and all the things that we have as humans, we still always come back to that systematic approach, right? And that's what serves us always. It's Autumn, I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm going to make a statement. Tell me how you feel about this. I think the system is more powerful than Autumn and I combined ever on willpower. And we're both pretty darn good at what we do. Autumn, any thoughts on that?
No, I think that's exactly well said. You know, the system works. You just have to make sure you're doing your part.
Yeah. Autumn, what do you think the biggest challenge is when you listen to somebody that's having difficulty, and even if they, you've been complimentary of a lot of, the folks that have good resume on outbound calling, especially. But what is it you think? I mean, we sort of sit there and go, oh my gosh, just say what's in front of you. We fret that. But what do you think the why is? Why do you think somebody with talent, with experience, just can't seem to say what's in front of them or accept a system? What do you think it is?
Fear and also lack of discipline.
Yeah. Tell me about the fear. What do you think the fear, what are they afraid of, do you think?
Talking to a stranger.
Yeah. Even when they're veteran telemarketers?
Yes, I still feel the fear to a point, but I pretend.
Yeah.
I'm an actor.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, by the way, what she just said is on the tail of The New Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz and edited and updated by Dan Kennedy. What she just said is exactly what is really pounded away at in there. She's an actress in the theater of her mind. And that's a very real technique for real actresses, my own daughter, athletes, top salespeople, telemarketers. They will sit there in the theater of their mind and imagine themselves being successful. And Autumn, not that she was ever afraid of this, but she has constantly upgraded herself to believe that she could talk, and she does. Guy's a buddy of mine. She talks to one of the guys in downtown Boston that owns one of the most expensive penthouses in Boston. And she just acts as if he needs to list with her, right?
Yeah.
Period.
We're kind of buddies now.
Not kind of. Yeah. Well, but and it's so when we see those numbers, Grant, her acting as if like there's no limitation anymore, because if she had fear, it would have been, she doesn't know the language of real estate. She comes in selling precious metals, coins, amongst many other things over 35 years. But even a veteran sits down and they're afraid to fumble, stumble, embarrass themselves, be embarrassed, all the things we feel. But acting as if, and she is an actress. I've always often said that but real actress, meaning she's actually becoming the ultimate telemarketer at the highest level, in spite of the fact that experientially, she's not there yet. And that has nothing to do with willpower. She can't will herself that way. She has to see it here. And as she sees it here, if you heard her speak, it's mid-Atlantic English, which I remember Gene Simmons talking about learning. He came here and he spoke with a Yiddish accent, and he learned mid-Atlantic language. I mean, Gene Simmons from Kiss, the one of the most prolific, successful bands in the history of time. And he became this different thing by really becoming it and acting as if that was his background. And you would never know any different. So I cannot emphasize enough that to get over the fear, and especially if you're new to this business, we just said it, Lauren and I just said it to a young guy on the phone, you have to act as if you can compete with somebody with a long resume today. And the reason you can is because you have a plan and they don't. And so you say, I can't compete with their resume, nor do I want to, because I'm not here to do that. I'm here to educate you about my plan, how it works to empower you to get through this process the best way. So why don't you just let me do that? Because at least I'll leave you better than I found you, whether you choose me or not. That is such amazingly powerful language, because you're not dealing from a mentality of scarcity. You're dealing from a position of strength, authority, and certainty. And certainty is extremely powerful when you are trying to acquire business. If I give you a feeling of certainty that my plan, I said this to the other Autumn, I said it to Bob Young. Bob, I am certain I can sell this house. I'm not guessing. There's not an ounce of doubt in me. I am certain that as long as you're hearing me and how I take you through this process and how the math all affects us, I am certain this is over for you soon so that you can sleep well. And I'm certain that what you perceive to be your problems, I can solve. That's powerful language. And you could see there was a cathartic moment as we stood in his basement alone away from his wife where he was honest with me about how he was really feeling. I said, I appreciate you for being that honest. Now let's get this darn thing sold, right? And I get the chills thinking about it because it's a very genuine moment. I'm not some BS salesperson. I like that. That's why I do this business, for a moment like that, right? So that certainty can only come from a system, not willpower. I cannot make that statement on willpower and not have a system to back it up. Follow? It's a very important point there.
Mm-hmm. So,
Good. Awesome. All right. Karen, you there? You were one of the few that sent calls in today. Karen?
I emailed you some calls as well, Danny.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. I'll look at those two GVD. Karen, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Dan.
Hi, Dan. My name is Karen, and I'm with Allen's Luxury Homes, and I'm calling you because I saw your beautiful home online and noticed that it didn't sell. So I'd like to send you something that will help you sell it next time. May I do that?
You know what? We've decided we're not going to sell, and not for a while anyway, just because of the crazy market.
Oh, okay.
It's a good time to sell, obviously, but we're looking to buy, and we tried to buy 3 homes and we got in bidding wars, and it's like, well, I guess it's just not a good time for either one. So you're welcome to send us information. I mean, when the time comes, we'll interview some people, but you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I would love to be able to send you the information. I'll do that. Do you want me to send it to 8002 Minglewood Lane, Dallas, Texas, or do you have a different address?
Nope, that's the correct address.
Okay, I'll do that. And then I'll follow up with you next week to make sure you received it.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
By the way, while I have you on the phone, why were you looking to sell it in the first place? Excuse me.
Well, we were looking for a house with some property.
Oh.
So, because this is a 0 lot line house, it's a beautiful home, but it doesn't have a yard. And we got a bigger dog, and then we have an Airstream that we'd like to keep on the property with us. And it's just the chips weren't falling where they needed to.
Okay. Excuse me, I got a dry throat all of a sudden for some reason. I'm not sure why. And by the way, how motivated would you say you are? 1 to 10.
Sell?
Yes.
Well, like I said, we were very motivated to sell, but we had found 3 different homes, and we put over asking price offers on them, and we even dropped our contingency, and we didn't get those homes. So it's like, well, it's just not going to work out for us, because if we sell this, if we don't have another home to move into, we're not really wanting to rent until the market cools or whatever the case may be. So it's just not going to happen for a little while, to be honest with you. We kind of hung our hat on that, and decided to pull shocks and stay put for a while.
Well, being that you're so motivated to sell, again, excuse me.
All right, stop. You tell me what's going on here. Tell me what you would do differently when you listen to this.
I don't understand why all of a sudden my voice gets very scratchy, very dry, and it just seems to happen when I go to beat two. I don't understand what's
All right, well,
going on.
then that were nerves. I mean, if you're saying that this is not like allergies or something like that, here's an example of fear getting the best of you, right? And you're changing your physical state then. If that's what you're saying, that this happens when you go to beat two and you believe that this is one of those Maxwell Maltz, acting in the theory of the mind, as if you've already told yourself that that's what happens at beat two. I mean, to me, it sounds like you're not athletically ready. Have a glass of water there. Look, one of the things I like, my voice gets burnt out all the time. Let me see if I have one in my pocket. I thought I popped one in, but I walk around with a whole little package of cough drops that I get because I talk for a living, right? And so let me just see. I don't have them here. They're in the car, but I have cough drops ready to go.
I have peppermints at hand, and I have my glass of water at hand, and I just don't. I don't know for a fact that it is because I'm trying to move on to beat two. I'm just assuming that it is.
Well, don't assume that because it's dangerous. Don't assume that because it's dangerous because you're telling yourself that's what's happening. And so you have to become very conscious, right? It's the conscious awareness that you need. What's going on here? Because it's going well, but what I hear is like, this is going perfectly based on a systematic approach. But as you get into the second round of it, it's like you're not listening to him anymore. That's what I hear. Right? I mean, logically speaking, the guy, let's just talk about this in a logical way. This guy just failed to secure a purchase of a property. What do you think Alan might be able to do versus whomever was helping him?
Get him to find a home that he wants to purchase.
Okay, no, he found 3 that he wants to purchase. So that's not the answer. So try again.
Helping him in selling the home.
No, selling a home wasn't the problem. See, you're not thinking. So whatever's happening to you, you stop thinking because it's really easy. It's not a trick question. And it doesn't really require training. It just requires us to think. What is this guy's problem? I wrote this down while I was listening. What's the guy's problem?
Being able to find the home that he wants to purchase.
Okay, no, that's not his problem.
Selling his home.
No, that's not his problem. See, you're just not listening. Listen to the call again. I'm only going to do one call with you today because this is really important that you get this. I want you to listen to this call and I want you to tell me specifically, because he tells you specifically, what is his problem. Ready? Here we go.
Dan.
Hi, Dan. My name is Karen, and I'm with Allen's Luxury Homes, and I'm calling you because I saw your beautiful home online and noticed that it didn't sell. So I'd like to send you something that will help you sell it next time. May I do that?
You know what? We've decided we're not going to sell, and not for a while anyway, just because of the crazy market.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a good time to sell, obviously, but we're looking to buy. And, we tried to buy 3 homes and we got in bidding wars, and it's like, well, I guess it's just not a good time for either one.
What's his problem?
He's
Karen, use his words. Karen, use his words. What is his problem?
questioning the market.
Here we go again. Listen for some words that sound like a problem.
Dan.
Hi, Dan. My name is Karen, and I'm with Allen's Luxury Homes, and I'm calling you because I saw your beautiful home online and noticed that it didn't sell. So I'd like to send you something that will help you sell it next time. May I do that?
You know what? We've decided we're not going to sell, and not for a while anyway, just because of the crazy market.
Oh, okay.
It's a good time to sell, obviously, but we're looking to buy. And, we tried to buy 3 homes and we got in bidding wars.
Autumn, what's his problem?
just think he's lost hope. He's
We
frustrated.
tried to buy 3 homes and we got into bidding wars and lost. It's his problem.
Right.
Mhm.
He needs comfort. He needs to be assured. He needs to be led, first of all, and he needs to be assured that that problem is solvable by your broker.
Bang. That's all there is to this. Karen,
Yes.
you're not hearing these people. That's the problem. You're doing a great job with the script. Really good. Like you're right there. But that's ultimately that's to keep the conversation going so you can understand what the problem is and understand that you have the solution for it. So the solution here, it's got nothing to do with him selling it. He tells you it's a great time to sell. That's not my problem. My problem is I made offers on 3 houses and got into bidding wars and obviously lost. You got it?
Right.
So what is his problem? What side? Buy side or sell side?
I would think both.
Karen,
if he's never-
Karen, you're
Okay.
fighting the obvious stuff here. Something's going on between your ears that you're fighting the obvious. I'm trying to give you the cheat sheet. It's one side. It's not both. It's one side first. In a hot market, you could slap a price that's close enough on a house and sell it. That's not a problem in Dallas right now. Buying is the problem. So what is the potential solution? Who is the potential solution?
Alan.
Period. Like, so what's going on in your mind that you're so white knuckled that you can't see right in front of you? Tell me what's happening. Something you're worried about, something going wrong or you failing or something. Try to have a cathartic moment with me. Trust me to be a therapist right now. What is it? What just went on here? You started choking, you're coughing, something, you're worried about something. Try to articulate it.
I really don't know.
Try. What could go wrong when you make a phone call on Alan's behalf? What cognitive distortion? Go big. What's the disastrous thing that could happen if you don't get phone calls going?
Not getting him an appointment.
Okay. And then what? What happens if you don't get him an appointment?
I failed.
Yep. Okay. And that's weighing on you so heavily that you can't relax to hear what this gentleman is saying to you very clearly. And so what's happening is, as the call goes on, you're so worried about failing for Alan that your brain is falling out of your head. Not the whole brain, because you're reading the script beautifully. You sound wonderful. The tone is there. It's a 1, 2. It's like a dance step with you. I can hear it. It sounds great, but you're not thinking. You're doing wonderfully, but you're not thinking. So you can't hear him say, well, geez, oh, that's too bad. You got in 3 bidding wars? Wow, that stinks. So he's getting agitated with you because you're no longer hearing him. Geez, on a scale of 1 to 10, would you be a 10 if Alan could solve the problem and get you a house? You see what I mean?
Yes.
It's right there for the taking. Well, if Alan could get you a house under agreement, if he could solve that problem, okay, would you still be a 10 to move? Because I think my guy can solve your problem. You got to have that confidence. I'll guarantee you, Autumn goes overboard about me at this. You got to meet with him. This is your guy. You're going to like him. She told me Bob Young was so scared, which we didn't know, that he came across as a hard guy. But he's the nicest guy in the world. He's a gentle spirit and a gentle soul who just got older and didn't know how to resolve it. But you'd never know that on the phone. But I know what she did. My guy can help you. Autumn, am I wrong?
Not wrong. I promote you tremendously.
Right. And that's how I get in. And they always say how great she is and what it is. And you wouldn't be here without her. And I'm sort of like, duh. Right? Right? Of course I wouldn't be. That's what we do.
I'm educated.
Yeah. No, right. Because we say that all the time. It's like, look, she became such a believer in that Danny is the guy with the plan that she just can now lump it and say, he can do this. Right? He can do this for you. Just let him in, because she knows that I will really go there and serve and leave them better than I found them. Now, of course, I want the deal for her and myself. So I want the listing, but you're so worried about failing. It is actually causing you to be a little bit off. And you didn't fail this guy. This is a pretty good deal. So, you're there. I mean, if I'm Alan, I pick the phone back up and say, hey, listen, thanks so much for talking to Karen. Sounds like you really had a tough time with the bidding war, right? Tell me a little bit about what went on. And so maybe he can solve it, maybe he can't. But you're so worried about maybe pleasing me and getting it right, maybe not failing with him, that you're not being Karen.
Well, I think she did a lot right.
Totally. Look at how far down the line she gets.
Yeah, I just think she clams up. She cramps up because she gets scared of not. I think it's an experience thing. She needs more experience.
Yeah, but I think you also had it right. This is a good example of it. We get so wrapped up in our own fear, especially when we're new at something, like you just said. It's it's lack of experience that exacerbates that fear.
Right.
But we already know she's good. There's evidence. See, Karen, there's evidence here in front of everybody that you're really good. Your tone, your pace, your consistency with the questions, your ability to stay inside the guardrails, it's all right there in front of us. It's all right there. We're already at a higher level with you where we're saying, okay, psychologically, you're so darn worried about failure. And I don't know whether that usually comes from our own self-image, that we've had failures in the past. And as soon as something doesn't go the way we perceive it should, we assume it's failure, right? And that's not the case. This is a successful call, okay? It's successful.
I think if they throw a curveball at us that we're not expecting, that's where we stutter if we don't have the experience.
Sure.
Karen, one.
Oops, Autumn, we lost you. Hang on. She hit one of the spots. Grant, well, we're waiting for her to come back. Do you have, which email did you send it to? Because I don't see it in the Realty Classroom.
Oh, geez.
All good. Doesn't matter. I'll find it.
I thought it was Danny Griffin at Gmail.
Yep, got it. I think. Yeah, this is it. All right, so we'll wait. Karen, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Karen, got to go easier on yourself. You're really hard on yourself. I think. Myself. I think you're really good. I told Ellen that too. I think you're really good. I do. You there?
She's gotten us, I think we're going into her 6th week of making calls. And I think if I counted, I think we've had 6 packages go out.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. Those are big milestones. And look, like when you listen to this, Alan, this technically is really good. I'd give it a 9. You know me, I always leave room for improvement, but I give it a 9 to 10. I mean, as far as technical and staying there, and the segue was beautiful. Oh, by the way, will I have you? She doesn't let him go. It's just, I think Autumn's probably right about 2 things today. Fear, and I think she needs to be more confident that you're supportive of her. And I am, right? Yep. Just, she needs a little bit more support from both of us. And this always sounds a little bit harsh because we want so desperately to get it right, but it's not. It's not. This is really good. It's just that we want all of the telemarketers to not lose themselves. We hired good people for a reason. They communicate well with others. They hear others. They serve others. All of that's foundational to this group. So you really, 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 really need to make sure you don't lose yourself. And I think Autumn put it in the chat that, you know, you can't lose yourself, right? So. All right, let me go in. Grant, can you pick one of these? Because we went a little bit long today. I got
yeah, let's go to the first one, 76th Street.
Okay.
It's only about maybe 50 seconds.
Okay, cool. Here we go.
And this, yeah.
Kelly, on with us?
Hi, Grant. Hi, I'm on.
Okay, cool. Hang on, here we go.
Hello.
Bonnier?
Yes.
Hi, Bonnier. This is Kelly, and I'm with the Van Dyke Realty Group at REMAX. And I noticed that your beautiful condo online did not sell, and I was wondering if I could send you some information that would help you sell it the next time. May I do that?
Sorry, I didn't understand what you're saying.
Well, you had your property at Greyhawk, it was on the MLS, and we noticed that it did not sell.
Everything is not going to be sold.
You're not going to sell it?
Not now.
Okay. Do you think you'll sell it within the next year, sir?
I really don't know. I have 13 of them.
Okay. Well, we will follow up with you in 6 months to a year. Is that okay?
Well, I really don't know you from Adam.
Okay.
So,
Not a
so
problem.
I don't deal with people that I don't know.
Okay.
I couldn't hear him.
All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, you pull the parachute a little bit quickly. So Autumn and I are going to have the same critique because I saw her notes. It's a little sing-songy still, right? So I don't really think you talk like that. And I get the whole acting thing. Just in her note is inflect down a little bit, bring it down a little bit. You crescendo up in a little bit of a sing-songy tone. It's genuine. I get it. I get that that's you. I just soften it a little bit more. That's just a tonality thing. In the end, this could be an experiential thing. You sort of bail out a little bit. Okay. What
Because
would,
I couldn't hear him.
yeah, go ahead.
I couldn't really hear what he was saying.
Yeah, I agree.
I had my
Yeah.
headphones in, and I normally don't have this much difficulty understanding, but he it seemed like he was so far away from a microphone or so far away from the phone. I really honestly could not hear this man. I couldn't tell you, even listening to this recording, what he said.
Okay. You don't know what he said?
Not really.
Okay. I do. He said, I don't know you from Adam, and I don't do business with people I don't know.
Oh, I never heard that.
To me, it's very clear. Ready? So
Sure.
again, experientially, my ear is super, super trained. I get it. I get that that's me, but let's go back and listen to it. It's really important because it's a learning moment. Because
Sure.
he makes an excellent point, which is we should presumptively assume that this is always the case. None of these people, if you don't know that figure of speech, I don't know you from Adam, right?
Oh, sure, I know that.
So I mean, I just meant that for anybody's benefit. It's just a figure of speech. He's an old timer. He uses, metaphors and figures of speech, right? So maybe that's lost on some of us who don't make the reference, especially somebody younger might not get that reference. I get it. So just be patient. I think you jump out of the plane a little bit too soon at the end, right? So listen at the end for where you kind of bail instead of trying to figure out what he's saying. You do a good job, by the way, backtracking, going, did you have any reason? I think if you bring the sing-songy sound out, you can relax a little bit more into a conversation with him. I think you're performing a little bit too much, right? A little bit too
I
much.
was really performing because I honestly could not hear what he was saying to me. So I was saying things, hoping that I could hear him better. But
well, Kelly, the technique and the tactic to do that is to match, right?
Sure.
So come down to him. Come down to that soft tone that he has, because you did it there, I think, at one point. Just come down to him.
Okay.
And just she says it anyway, Autumn being she, says it anyway in general about us inflecting down and bringing people into the conversation. I'm sorry. What was that you said? And matching almost his pace so that he feels comfortable that there's a mirror there in the way that you're behaving. If your energy is so much above his, he can't catch you, right? Follow me?
Yes.
Like he
Yes,
can't get there. He can't. He's elderly. And especially we're going to run into a lot of elderly folks, folks with an accent. This situation is very, very normal. So I want to deal with it. So here we go. And I want you to listen, especially towards the end, where he's just becoming old school suspicious of you because he doesn't know you, right? But there's an opportunity there for you. And instead of hanging in there for the opportunity, you jump out the plane. Here we go.
Hello.
Vernier?
Yes.
Hi, Vernier. This is Kelly, and I'm with Van Dyke Realty Group at REMAX. And I noticed that your beautiful condo online did not sell, and I was wondering if I could send you some information that would help you sell it the next time. May I do that?
Sorry, I didn't understand what you're saying.
Well, you had your property.
This is good. This is a good example of you. He's confused. I don't know what you're saying. So he's got a little TV going on in the background. You caught him off guard. This is really good. You go back and you get more specific about why. This is an example of helping him in the conversation. Okay.
At Greyhawk, it was on the MLS, and we noticed that it did.
Stay away from MLS. That's our language, not theirs. Online is fine, right?
Okay. Okay.
Did not sell.
Everything is not going to be sold.
It's not going. You're not going to
See, you did a good job and you clarified it, and now he can respond. See what I mean?
Yes.
Like, this is a good job. This is a good job.
sell it.
Not now.
Okay. Do you think you'll sell it within the next year?
One thing you could have done here was, oh, did your plans change? Right?
Sure.
Yeah, this is a little experiential thing you can throw in there.
Sir?
I really don't know. I have 13 of them.
Okay. Well, we will follow up with you in 6 months to a year. Is that okay?
Okay, so here's where it starts to go offbeat a little bit, right? Because what you're not attached to at this moment, at least, are these packages, right? That's why, because you're a telemarketer and a good one. And you're going into what you know, which is, I will call you back. Follow me? Very logical for your brain to say this. And you're trained that way. Wonderful. We'll call you back in 6 to 12 months. I don't want that without something in my database, without something more firm.
Okay.
Right? Here's why. Because you can zip through these calls too fast and we're bloating the database. It's like indigestion in the database because you don't really even know why. Right?
Sure.
So you're jumping towards what to do, and this is where you're stepping outside of the system. Well, what I could do is if you are thinking about still selling the property, I could send you out some information that will help you sell it the next time. Stay to the offer.
Okay.
This is not the offer. This is an offer to just randomly follow up. So now watch what happens because he gives you a little bit more here. So up to this point, 58 seconds, Kelly, you're not really having any problem understanding him. Let that sink in. You're a whole 58 seconds into this, and you're not having any problems understanding each other at this point. Because when he said, I don't understand, you heard that clearly. You slowed down and you reiterated who you were and what you were calling about. So 58 seconds in, your perception when you self-analyzed the call was, oh, I wasn't really hearing him. You in the beginning, all he said was hello, and you got sing-songy without having any problem hearing him. So that's why I'm saying be very conscious about what's happening in this tiny call. A minute, 17 seconds. It's packed chock full of nuts, right?
Okay.
So here we go.
Well, I really don't know you from Adam.
I don't know you from Adam.
I didn't hear that.
Okay.
That's when I not.
Yep. Okay. So you say, okay.
Uh-huh.
Instead of saying, excuse me, right? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. You just be you, right? If you really don't hear him, clarity is the most important thing. I mean, you're gentle, Kelly. You're inviting. I mean, you're not intimidating to this guy, right? So don't let the tail wag the dog. This is your call, and you need to come to a very finite, definite conclusions in these calls to be successful.
Not a problem.
I don't deal with people that I don't know.
Did you hear that?
I heard it. I hear it. Yes.
Okay. I don't deal with people I don't know. Well, let's get to know each other, buddy.
Yep.
Right? Then let's get to know each other. Well, great. Wonderful. In the case that you're thinking about selling it, which it sounds like, let's get to know each other. Let me send you out the package of information I'm talking about. Not only will it help you, right, with or without us, but it'll also introduce you to us. We'd like you to know us, right?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Instead, you jumped out of the plane.
I did.
Yeah. It's okay. That's experiential. I mean, you got, right? And you just bailed, right? Because you're just not trained enough to be attached to, like this is fulfillment again. We have something for him. It's good, right? I mean, Grant, I'd go ahead and send it to him. Kelly, I'll go ahead and wait a week and call back and say, I was thinking, since you didn't really know us, I still wanted to send you the information that will help you sell your property the next time. Did you get it? Go for it, okay? Because you need to become attached to what's possible. Grant, anything to add?
I like it. That's why I put this call on there. It's one of 3 today. I thought it was a good call and experience we'll get there. I do want to talk about becoming attached to the package. If we're sending, Kelly's, gone over the videos for, has watched them for a little bit there. So how can we connect Kelly and I more to the package?
Has Kelly ever gotten this package delivered to her house?
Absolutely. I have a fabulous package. I love it. I love his navy blue envelope.
Good. Okay, so now act as if, which is a big topic today, act as if you are selling your property. Grant, does she have a buyer package too?
No, she does not.
Okay, that goes out next. See what I'm saying? Well, I mean, we just had a call where we're calling on a seller call, and his problem is the buy side. So she needs to be attached to the buy side. Kelly, your homework is to sit still and read them and make notes all over them, right? And react to it. Get attached to it. You don't just receive it, you consume it. So that you can live authentically in what it means. Grant, you Q&A with her about it. You tell her how that's the very thing. What do you do with that information, Grant, when you go to the presentation? She needs to know that.
Okay. All right. Dialogue.
Good. Awesome. All right, guys, it went a little long. So if you want to, circle back at the beginning of next week's call with some more. Kelly, this is good. I mean, you're like Karen. You're all good telemarketers, but we got to tighten this up because we really want you to be successful as quickly as possible. So the creation of a very clear prospect. This guy can be prospected, Kelly. There's no doubt. He's ripe for the taking, right? Do we know what the value of the property was? Greyhawk, isn't that a pretty nice area?
Yeah, he's a condo in Greyhawk. I didn't run it, but he's probably 5.25.
Yeah. Okay. Good bread and butter thing. Grant, let's find this one out. You two dig into this one together. I'll look for an update next week. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Bravo. All right. Any final questions about today's call or insights or any other anecdotes, sales anecdotes from the outside? Anything? I'll take a final call for questions and.
I just wanted to say that I liked how Kelly was talking with us a minute ago.
Amen. Amen, sister. Like Kelly, that's the voice we're looking for, the way you talk to us.
Okay.
Yep. That's the one. That's that. And Karen felt a little bit beaten up. I can hear it in her voice, but that's, you got to look in the mirror and you got to feel good. This is just feedback. It's nothing, right? Like nobody wants you all to be more successful than me because you're working with my clients, right? Get it? These are my clients that need to be successful and they need a good telemarketer in support of their effort to do so. Nobody wants you to be more successful than me. But the way that I help you be successful is 2 things. Your own mindset needs work, all of you. The new Psycho-Cybernetics is the toolbox for that. 2, you need to become attached to the offers and the fulfillments and the scripts and the trainings. Those 2 things will set you free. And this will be a very enjoyable, predictable business for you. It will.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So good job. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for, it's not easy to be critiqued, but this is a safe group, right? This is a safe haven here. We're all trying to accomplish the same thing. So, all right. Anything else from my team leaders? Anything?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right, gang. Hearing none. You're all a little too quiet for me as usual, but I appreciate everybody being here on this Friday afternoon. Thank you to all that participated today. And go out and practice this stuff because it actually works. You can ask Autumn and I anytime. We keep telling you anecdotes every week of us being successful with a systematic, trained approach. We work hard at training ourselves. Autumn shows up to as many training calls as she can every week with all the stuff that we do. And we talk all the time. In fact, we talk right after this call, which we will be doing. So copy us. We work hard at getting better at this. Just mimic our behavior, and success will follow you as it does us. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Danny.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Danny.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Danny.
You're welcome all.